Too hot for TV.
Welcome back to Doctor Who Too Hot for TV, the Christmas festive advent calendar. It's a bit of a mouthful, but that's exactly what it is. If I could think up something clever and wittier, I would have done. Every day this month, I am opening a different door on the Doctor Who advent calendar and finding a different annual story and a different guest. And behind today's door is none other than Mark Donaldson. Mark, welcome.
Thank you for having me. Season's greetings and all that. I hope you're having a cool Yule, as the kids are saying.
Is that what they say?
No. It's something my friend once did. She lost her phone on a Christmas night out and then put up a Facebook status saying to all her work colleagues, "I've lost my phone, so I am contactable via Google Mail. Have a cool Yule."
Very nice.
It's great.
I like it.
It's just a great season. Very millennial season's greeting, you know.
I'm adopting it.
Also, Christmas festive advent calendar. It's CFAC, isn't it? CFAC.
Fuck. Yeah. It's too late. I've recorded about 15 of these now. I can't drop it. Oh, I drop it in myself and make it all sound effortless.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's an advent calendar. It's a bunch of short podcasts. Who cares?
And instead of chocolate, it's the whitest people you know. It's the milkiest of milk chocolate behind each of the doors.
Exactly. No diversity here. Just the way Philip Morris wants it. So today we're going to do something slightly different from all the other Advent calendar annual stories I've done, because we're doing one from the Dalek Annual.
Well, am I the only one that has picked a Dalek Annual?
You're the only one that's picked a Dalek Annual.
Wow. Interesting.
So this is exciting stuff. This is what the kids have been waiting for.
Yeah.
Nobody picked the K9 Annual.
Oh.
So we're going to be covering Flood, ! From Terry Nation's Dalek Annual 1976, released in September of 1975. Before we do that, Mark, were you someone that collected annuals as a kid? Do you collect them as an adult? Are you an avid annual reader or not really?
I definitely got, annuals as a kid are definitely one of those kind of easy wins for a parent or a relative, right?
Yeah.
I think that's what the whole market exists for. So yeah, I definitely got the Sun. In fact, I spent a lot of this afternoon archiving my grandparents' slides from the sort of 60s and 70s. And in that bag, because I'd taken a lot of stuff from their house, I found the Captain Scarlet Annual from the 90s I must have got at Christmas. I don't know what it was doing there. Maybe I'd taken it there to read and then just left it there. And it's just sat there for decades. So yes, so I definitely got those annuals in the 90s. And then, I mean, obviously Doctor Who annuals, there weren't any when I was growing up, really. But they were, like, you know, when you're kind of doing the kind of archaeology of Doctor Who in the wilderness years.
Yeah.
You know, and you get anything you see in a charity shop or a secondhand bookshop, you're jumping on it because it's got Doctor Who on it and you want to know more about Doctor Who. So I definitely picked up a fair few annuals doing that. There is some on the shelf there. What have we got? Yeah, I've got the 1985 annual, the 1978 Dalek Annual. We're not talking about that one. So yes, I've got a few annuals and stuff. But yeah, I remember distinctly picking up, I think, one of the Tom Baker ones and quickly realising that this doesn't have a lot to do with... That's not Tom Baker. Doesn't look anything like Mary Tam.
No. Yeah, there's quite a lot of that. I think in the sort of 90s, the 80s annuals and the Tom Baker annuals were ones you're almost guaranteed to find in charity shops. The first three Doctors, you might find the odd one here and there, but even now, they're the ones that go for a fair few quid.
Yeah, I think I've seen our Pertwee in a display case.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That kind of like, well, we can't have this on the shelf where somebody can switch the labels around. This needs to be put in a glass case and, you know, behind lock and key.
The only one from that era that really did the rounds a lot was the first one, because they clearly printed far too many of them.
Yes.
Because that one never went for more than about a tenner, I don't think, whereas the others would be a couple of quid. And then the 60s, and like, I remember seeing them for 50, 60 quid, so I can only imagine what they are now. Which is weird, because the contents is shit. There we go. It's Doctor Who fans for you. So presumably, you've never read Flood! ! Before.
No, I don't. I didn't have this annual. I mean, the reason I chose the Dalek annuals was partly because of what I was saying about the Doctor Who ones. It's that they bear very little resemblance to the Doctor Who on the telly, whereas the Dalek annuals kind of exist in their own little Terry Nation Dalek universe. So you're getting Daleks in this. You know, you get in a Dalek annual, you're guaranteed some Dalek action, and they look like Daleks. They're not kind of like weird sort of like copyright avoiding Daleks. It's proper, page by page comic strips, stories, puzzles related to Daleks,
Yeah, I love that. And actually, like, it all feels very on brand, even though there was no Dalek TV series. I'm like, I can absolutely feel this as part of the Dalek universe that Terry Nation was trying to peddle and trying to get out there. It's bonkers still that, the Daleks were popular enough to have their own annuals and stuff, but the TV show never quite got off the ground.
Well, it's quite surprising how far those Dalek annuals go.
Yeah.
Because like that one on the shelf there, that's 78. So that's 2 years after this one. I feel like they must have stopped fairly soon after 78.
Yeah, I don't think they go into the 80s with the Dalek annuals, by which point I think Dalek Mania's dead. Was he still trying to push the TV show in the 80s? Presumably.
Don't think so.
Yeah.
I think he was more kind of wistfully looking back with Alan Wicker by then, wasn't he?
Yeah, exactly. Like, certainly this is the tail end of the popularity of the Daleks in that respect, and then they were reduced to... I mean, it's... John Nathan Turner probably quite wisely used them sparingly, so they show up once every sort of 3 years. Imagine that, eh? But
they don't show up at all anymore.
Well, no, that's very true. Some Doctor Who's have never even met them. So let's jump into the story of this, such as it is. So, Earth is flooding. The Thames barriers are breaking. Denmark's completely underwater.
I love that.
Yeah.
That bit. It's just, oh my God, not Denmark.
Out of all the countries they could have picked, it's Denmark.
Yeah.
And nobody knows what's going on, despite the fact, presumably, if you go through this annual, Earth's at war with the Daleks.
Yeah. You can take a wild stab in the dark.
Yeah. It's not going to be the Cybermen.
No.
So
it could be the Bird, though. You never know. It's could throw a
true.
curveball. Or a mechanoid.
Yeah, Sea Devils.
No, I don't have the rights for this.
No, fair. So, returning from a mission in space, the ADF crew are basically jumping back into action straight away. So, presumably, they've been off fighting Daleks on other planets. They go from their spaceship to their submarine. They clearly enjoy being contained in small metal capsules. And they end up in Antarctica, where they basically sort of get caught in some ice, unsurprisingly. And what do they find there, Mark?
Oh my God. Well, they find a sort of Dalek plant that is currently sort of heating up the polar ice caps. Very topical.
Well, yeah.
And causing wide-scale flooding. The whole of the southeast of England is underwater.
Go woke or go broke. Also, when you say plant, obviously, that it's not like a Varga plant. It's like...
No, sorry. Yes, it's an industrial plant. Yes.
Now, within this team, we've got Reb and Joel. Now, Reb is a name we've come across before in Rebek.
Right, yes.
Because he loves... I'm surprised there isn't a Taran, but there isn't. And then we've got Mark 7. It's a bloody robot.
Yes. I know, like Mark 7's one of those characters that kind of recurs throughout the Nation stuff, isn't he?
Yeah.
In the kind of expanded... Because I think he was a character from the pitch.
Yeah, he was, yeah.
For the TV series. And there is a sort of like a little guide to Mark 7 somewhere else in the annual.
Yeah, there is.
Like got a little X-ray or something of him.
Yeah, so it's him, and you get to see how he looks normally and what's underneath his skin. And unsurprisingly, he's basically an android. He's got robotic eyes, high-powered precision lenses with close-up zoom capability.
Whoa.
That's exciting.
Also, his mechanical arms and shoulders are made of crane steel.
Oh,
there you go.
My favourite kind of steel. The skin of the Mark 7 humanoid robot is made from plastograft, warm to the touch. It is extremely tough, being both fire and damage resistant. It is interwoven with a fine mesh of micro-thin wires that act like nerves and give it a sense of touch. Oh, and he's got a synthesizer in his throat that contains a memory bank of speech sounds which can be permutated into language or dialect. That's quite handy.
That is quite handy, yeah.
But yeah, he's an all-purpose robot. I think he shows up in Big Finish as well.
I think they have, yeah. Is it not played by one of the guys who was in Broadchurch or something?
Probably. I think it was one of those lockdown releases where they could get anybody they wanted.
Yeah. It was, they were like, what would it look like putting the 10th Doctor in a kind of 60s style Dalek adventure? Which is a great idea on paper, but then they sort of turned it into like 3 box sets.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't listened to much of it. I don't know if it was good. I mean, I like the idea of it.
I remember listening to the first one and thinking it was pretty good, but then I just didn't have time. It was lockdown. I said I probably didn't have time, actually. It was probably in between my 2 bottles of wine a day. I just couldn't find the time to listen to 4 hours of Big Finish. So Mark 7 gets captured, but he's got nothing to worry about, really, because he's got, like, impregnable skin, so...
Yeah, he's fine.
It's all a bit of drama. Reb and Joel go looking for him in the Dalek base, and Reb has a little slip, which distracts the Daleks long enough for Mark 7 to escape.
Why not?
And then we get into the most Terry Nation of Terry Nations scenarios, because they basically run into the Dalek control room, lock the door, the Daleks start cutting through the door, they press a button that makes the thing topple over, and the Daleks immediately fall into the ice and freeze. The end.
It's quite an abrupt ending as well.
Yeah.
The last line as it is, I've just got a clear radio signal through the sub. They're waiting for us. All right, the end. There's not even like a the end caption.
No. It's very quick to dispatch of the Daleks, but, you know, they get there. What I like most about this story, though, because it's light on plot, it's light on character, it's actually pretty light on Daleks as well, but the artwork is pretty fantastical. And indeed, it's in full colour, which most of the comic strips that you get in the Doctor Who annuals aren't usually in full colour.
Yes, that's true. And even the comic strips in this annual, there's another one.
Oh, yeah.
Which is all kind of pink and purple, which is, I think, the kind of more lurid version of black and white that they put in these kind of character options annuals where they can't afford to do full colour. Yeah, that was when you sort of sent me, I think I can't remember how it came. Yeah, you asked me like what I wanted to do. I was like Dalek annual, and then I think you picked the year, and then I kind of scrolled. I was having a little look through it, and that comic strip was the one because I think the opening couple of panels where you've got that guy on the sort of stairs of the underground drowning.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, this looks good. Yeah, let's go for this one.
I mean, I think it's possibly a little bit of the artwork is a lot better than it almost has any rights to be, because it's really selling an epic adventure that just isn't present within the actual comic strip.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's got that kind of, it does have that kind of Century 21 feel. You know, that kind of, where you had like the Captain Scott. I mean, I think Doctor Who and the Daleks had sort of separate comic strips in Century 21, or TV 21, sorry. Century 21 is the production company, TV 21 is the comic. And yeah, so it felt like that. It felt like reading it, I was like, I could see like a Terry Nations Dalek TV show where it would be like that Super Mario Nation stuff. It would be like Captain Scarlet and the Mysterons. Every episode, it's like, oh, the Mysterons have taken over some plant somewhere on Earth, and Captain Scarlet's got to go there and stop them like hatching their plan. I could see all of that taking place with the Daleks, and there's only 25 minutes, so they have quick resolutions like, oh, we've frozen the Daleks under the ice, and we've reversed the melting of the ice caps by simply just turning the heat ray into a refrigeration ray. It's as simple as that.
You've got to wonder whether there was ever a conversation between Terry Nation and Jerry Anderson, because I've never thought of it, but as you say, it seems like almost the perfect bedfellow.
I think like it could have been great. I mean, Anderson was, I think, very keen to kind of move beyond puppets. Yeah. You know, like he had that kind of, I think around the time, like I think by the time with Captain Scarlet, he's like, how am I still making puppet shows? Like I want to do sort of live action, more serious drama. And I think that's why Captain Scarlet's so bleak. Yeah. And like quite dark. So yeah, you could see those two guys having that conversation. But Nation was looking at America, I suppose, so he wouldn't necessarily think to go down that route. But actually, if he'd gone commercial, if he'd gone to like Lou Grade and Jerry Anderson and stuff, maybe he would have actually got a better chance of
Yeah.
doing the Dalek show he wanted to do.
Could you imagine Daleks on ITV up against Doctor Who?
Controversial, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Well, we've just created this whole past that didn't happen anyway, so it's fine.
But it could have. But I mean, it could have happened considering what the rights were like at the time. I don't know. Maybe it could have done. Who knows? I'm not a copyright lawyer.
Do you have any favourite images from this annual? Because surely you don't have any favourite characters or anything like that.
I'd like to say I do like the guy looking straight at the camera, but he's trying not to drown on the escalator.
Yeah.
On the underground. That's quite good. You can't go wrong with a London bus and a black cab like underwater. I think that there's a lot of sort of nice scene setting imagery.
Yeah.
Because then it just gets a bit like it's submarines under ice and people in different coloured, like woolly coats.
Yeah.
I do quite like the Dalek base.
Yeah.
Though. That's quite a nice. It feels Dalek-y.
Yeah.
I guess is.
There's a great panel of Reb and Joel sort of first discovering the base, and it looks really imposing and massive in a way that bases just don't in Doctor Who. And then there's a nice little shot of them hiding behind some snow and the Daleks drifting through the snow. And, we're in business by that point.
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
So it's probably story-wise about the same as the stories we get in all the other Doctor Who annuals. They don't stray far from a formula, which is move quickly, get in all the iconography you need to get in. The plot doesn't have to make a huge amount of sense. Tick the box and then wrap it up very, very quickly. But I have to say, this little comic strip is a lot more fun than some of the stories in the annuals that surrounded it that were fully Doctor Who.
Interesting.
So part of me wants to delve a little further into the Dalek annuals at some point. Not right now. I've read a lot of annuals. But,
next Christmas.
when we're all excited about Billy Piper's debut as the Doctor, I'll be there reading through the Dalek annuals of the 70s, remembering the good old days.
The good old days, yes. When the idea of a woman being Doctor Who being laughed out in the pub.
Exactly. Is there anything else you want to say on this Dalek epic?
Well, so not necessarily on this, but the very next page in the annual is an Earth Scarrow timescale, which is a table of events that compares certain happenings in the history of Earth with developments taking place in the Dalek world. Now, the reason I bring this up is 1912, the SS Titanic hits an iceberg and sinks. 1,517 people drowned. Now, this took place in the Dalek year 10835, in which the Daleks shower Earth's oceans with super frost bombs, creating gigantic ice floes. So the Dalek, it's because of the Titanic crashed, because the Daleks, But it wasn't the captain's fault. He didn't navigate the wrong way. It was just all frozen.
Getting a little closer to home, though, 1974, drought, floods and famine in Asia. Dalek weather control satellite stationed in Earth's orbit. Is it using real-world events, the death of people in Asia?
Yeah, I think so.
And going...
Well, because, it's got the San Francisco earthquake, which, again, killed a lot of people.
Yeah.
And that's because a Dalek task force landed on Earth to examine the core of the planet, and which caused much surface disturbance.
Oh, yeah.
Krakatoa was a neutron bomb that they fired at Earth, and the Great Fire of London was a Dalek spaceship that crashed on Earth. Oh, and the Black Death was the first germ warfare experiments that the Daleks carried out on Earth.
Wow. And then they just waited X amount of, 1,000 years or something to before they did it again?
Yes. They got a lot of plates spinning, all right?
Yeah.
They got to conquer the whole galaxy.
Well, that is true.
They can't just be constantly, focused on Earth.
Because the Norman invasion of 1066 in the Dalek year 9143, the Daleks invade Mars and Venus, so no direct correlation.
Yeah. They're off doing other things.
Earth year 42, London believed to have been founded. Scarrow year 7095, Dalek spaceships first discover Earth. So it was the founding of London that maybe drew their attention. It was probably the price of the pints, to be honest, actually.
They're charging how much?
Well, look, Mark, it's been wonderful to jump into a Dalek annual after doing all this boring Doctor Who stuff. Get to the gritty stuff, the world of Terry Nation. I'll be back tomorrow with another guest and another annual story. But until then, I've been Dylan.
I've been Mark.
And this has been Doctor Who Too Hot for TV, the Advent Calendar edition. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Doctor Who. Too hot for TV.
Incidentally, a happy Christmas to all of you at home.